My name is Laura Marceline Ashiono. Yeah, I'm a communication specialist.
My name is Valentine Ashiono. I'm an electrical engineer, and I've been with my wife for 8 years, though we've been in matrimony for 4 years.
We met at a social event. We spotted each other. I can say it was like love at first sight because we looked at each other, he winked, and then I remember I told my friend at that time, I was like, is that cute guy looking at me? And then,
Yeah, sure. I was the friend, and it was more or less like a party. So yes, I saw this beautiful girl across. Then we looked at each other, so I wasn't sure it was me. And then I checked behind, then I checked again, I confirmed it was me. So I waved and she waved back. Then yeah, I made a move and we went and we spoke. I took her contacts and we continued speaking and talking to each other, and then
the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yes, I just went and spoke to her. I told her she looks so nice, what's her name? And then of course she told me her name, and then I asked her if she'd have a drink. She said yes, so so that I could create a rapport with her. So when the drink came, we sat down, and I got her number, and I promised her I'll catch her. So I remember the friend I was with left a bit early, and also they were leaving because she was with a friend as well. So I told I asked them if I could escort them because I had a car, and then they said yeah. So when I went to get the car, because I'd parked it somewhere else, when I went to get the car, coming back, they were not there. They had left.
We waited for him. He was not showing up. So actually, we thought he had stood up, So you were like, we waited for him for like 10 minutes. He didn't show up. Then we decided, let's just take an Uber and go. So yeah, that's how we like.
And then the following day, she's actually the one who texted me first.
Yeah, I was like, yesterday I met someone. And then I checked the WhatsApp profile, and then I was like, oh my God, see this guy. Remember I telling my friend, wow, we met this guy yesterday. And then I waited. It was around from 8 to 1. No text, nothing. And then I was like, why not? Let me just say hi. Actually, I didn't say hi. I told him, kindly send me the photos that you took the other time at the party. I didn't want to sound like I'm saying hi. I mean, yeah. So I just said, hi, we met yesterday. Kindly send me the photos that you took.
The first time I saw her, I can say I just saw a nice girl. There's a way, I don't know, for us guys, there's a way. I believe it's also for women the same. There's a way if you just see someone, you see something. Yeah, you can tell that this one looks like a laid-back Chile, and you can see others and you just know this one is wild. Yeah, so when I saw her, I saw a lady, I saw a girl. So yeah, I became interested. And yes, I made a move, and I was determined to keep on seeing her.
So what attracted me to him is the way he groomed himself. And then the looks, I was like, wow, that's one, he's a gentleman, he's handsome. I was like, yeah, that's my man.
Yeah, so I remember after that first day, a couple of days later, I invited her for lunch. And she actually took a long time to come because my patience was running out. So I was about to actually go, to leave. But then now she arrived. So she was very remorseful because she apologized and she like explained herself. So there's a way I could see that there's something about her character, yeah, in terms of how she behaved, having been late for this date. So I forgave, of course, and we had a good time. But then now, as we started becoming more friends, like I invited her over and she came. So when she came to my place, there's a way when she walked in and when she left, there were two different scenarios. Yeah, she walked into a house that was, all over. But when she left a very organized house. So that was very impressive to me because I was like, wow, this is unique. Yeah, because many a times, people are not like that. So yeah, for her, she kept my house in order and she kept everything really well. So there's something about it that made me so attached to her. So I could tell that she's different. And then her character all through when I was introducing her to my friends and family and everybody who knew us, they could tell that this is different. Yeah, I remember even the first time when I I took her to my mom. Yeah, later on when we were leaving, my mom told me, now you have a wife. So yeah, so that made me even more attached to her. And then we became friends. Like, you know, we are really friends. Like, she's my gossip mate. She's that person who I go to, and when like somebody I want to talk to, I'll tell her without hesitation. So yes, so that is what made me like really into her.
The first person I introduced him to was my sister. My sister at that time, she was still in school in a campus here in Nairobi. So we drove to that place. So when my sister met him, I was like, wow, he's a gentleman. He's different. Yeah, this is the one. Like in Kiswahili, they say, usiachilie huyu aende. You know, he's the one, yeah. So my sister, they just clicked. They became best friends. And then now the second person I introduced him to was my uncle, a late uncle of mine. My uncle was also like, yeah, he's a good man, by the way. You know, men, they have a way of seeing other men. So I wanted a man's perspective of it. So by that time, words had already spread to my parents. So my mom was curious, bring this man home, this man that everyone is saying, Laura has a good man. So when my mom and dad met him, they were like, yeah, he is the one, yeah. He's a gentleman. We know you are in safe hands and all that. So they were welcoming. They just clicked. He's the talkative type. He's like the friendly type. So when you just interact with him, he just clicked. So he just clicked with everyone, my brothers, my parents. So it was easy. He just came into our home and just fitted in. Gentleman, like I say, he really knows how to sweep you out off your feet. Like I remember, like I could come with an Uber, but at the same time he'll still come, help me cross the road. I mean, I could have crossed on my own, but he'll still help me cross the road, open the car for me. Like all those, you know, those small things that people take for granted, but they sweep you off your feet. Yeah, he used to do them. Yeah, he still does them. Yeah, some, but still he used to do them. So I could say the way he was handling me, the mature conversations that we had, the way he would encourage me to push my dreams, to push my goals, yeah. And like I said, he's my best friend. Like we developed a friendship, yeah. So it was more like friends at first, and then love came into the process, yeah. While we were dating, I can say a date for us was like we would hang out mostly on weekends because of work schedule. So dating is him calling me over to his place, Langata, or we meet somewhere in a restaurant. We have maybe some nyama choma, yeah, and just enjoy. Or random road trips. Just call me, hi, where are you? You're leaving work maybe on a Friday, yeah, let's go to Naivasha. Just like that, just pack and we go. Yeah, so he's a random person. Can say our dates is full of adventures. Let's go for hiking, let's go for picnics, let's go for road trips, yeah. So basically, yeah, it's never boring with him.
Actually, I remember when I met her, within 3 months or 4 there, I asked actually to move in with me, because now she'd come over the weekends and she'd stay longer. Like she'd leave the following week on Thursday or Friday. Yeah, because no, we were really into each other. So I told her to come and you know, start living with me. And then I remember after like 7-8 months there, we became expectant, yeah, with our first child. About 3 or 4 months into the pregnancy, it was her birthday. So on that birthday, I had planned to like propose to her, like ask her to be my wife. So I took her to somewhere she had really wished to go, but she had never been there. So I said, this is my opportunity now. Yeah. So I took her there. It was a nice restaurant. Because, like she said, we love going to restaurants. We love tasting food. Myself, I'm a foodie. I love meaty stuff. So yeah, that restaurant is popular with meat stuff. So yeah, I took her there. Then I proposed to her on her birthday. Yeah, that was in 2015. Yeah, and then she said yes. didn't have any expectations for marriage. We just said, I think our relationship was more or less based on friendship. Friendship was our key virtue. We were really good friends and we used to hang out a lot. So when we moved in together, we just continued to like get to know each other. And then, you know, it was just, we hadn't like set a target of getting married or whatever, but we were just like rolling, you know, like flowing with it. So in that, during that process or during that time, I got to meet her people. She also got to meet my people. And then it automatically became like a courtship, you know. So it was bound to end up in some sort of a matrimony. Yeah.
The first time he asked me to move him, I remember I told him, no, me, I'm not doing come with stay. I was like, moving with you, how? No, I'm not moving in with him. I refused that month. Then the next month, I did my calculation and I discovered within a month, I only stayed at my place for only 10 days. Like most of the days I would spend at his place. So we were like, why are we paying rent? Because maybe, let's say I'm from his place on Thursday evening. That night I'm like, I'm bored. Can I come over? Then I go back on the same Thursday. So like, I'm rarely at my place. Even my caretaker was like, when you squeeze my hammer, like, I'm never there. So it's like, let me just move him. Let's move in together and then we see what happens. Yeah. At first, I wasn't sure how my parents would react to that. So I didn't tell them immediately I had moved in with him, because you know that ideal setup, you meet someone, you wed first and then you move in. But like we said, we just went with the flow. Of course, you're expecting things to be always rosy. It's never rosy. That those, like we said, we are two different people. Like for me, I'm not like a crowd kind of person. Him, he loves crowd. So like when we go hang out with his friends, I'll feel a bit withdrawn because of the crowd. But with time, we just sort of found a way of how to adjust with each other's personality.
We did our white wedding in 2018, around November, and that was about 3 to 4 years after we had started, you know, like we started being in a relationship. So yeah, so 3-4 years later we got married in church.
Yeah, but we did our traditional wedding in 2016 December.
Yes.
So the following day, immediately our son was born. During that time, we were still courting. We had planned, the parents had already met and all that. And then since we had invited everyone and all that, it was a big event and all that, we decided, hey, let's hold first. Then with time, we'll do the white wedding.
Yes.
So 3 years later after the traditional is when we did the white wedding now.
Yes. Yeah, actually after I took her to my home, and then I was asked to go to their home to like ask for a hand in marriage. So traditionally, you're supposed to go with representation, not your parent, but somebody who is almost your age mate or slightly older, like an uncle or a cousin or something, and a brother. So yeah, I took an uncle and a brother, and then we went there. So upon arriving, I was sent now back home. I was told they've received my compliments, and they told me now go and bring your parents. So when I went to bring my parents, that's now when we had started organizing this more or less like a rurasho, this dowry payment / traditional wedding. So during that time is when we discovered that we were expecting our first son. So of course, traditionally, when you're planning such things and you're expecting, you always now have to stop the plans and
concentrate on
the baby first, because now it is believed that, you know, if you do them concurrently, it could bring bad luck.
Yeah.
So we had to halt our plans. And then now, when our son was born, in 2016 May, in 2016 now December, when he was 7 months, we were able now to proceed with our plans. So we went and did traditional wedding. We did it back at home, in their home, customarily. That's from where she comes from. And then we had a really good function. And after that, we now started planning for the wedding now. Yeah, and then of course the parents were so excited, so they kept like asking, oh, what's
when is
what's
the
next?
white wedding? When is the white wedding? Yeah.
Yes.
When I found out I was pregnant with my first son, and you know the parents, the moms from both sides had just met like a week or two after, I cried. I cried, not tears of regret or anything. I cried because I was like, tears of joy first, because we were both ready for a child. So tears of joy, but at the same time, I thought, even if I'm pregnant, we'll still proceed with the plans. And then I get a call from my mom telling me, no, according to tradition, since you're pregnant, we can't proceed with the plans. Okay, I cried. I was like, oh my God, no. I wanted this baby to come after I've done the whole process. But then I was like, you know, this is a blessing from God. And I really wanted this child. So if the child has decided, God has decided to bless us with a child before we do the traditional wedding, we still give thanks to God, right? And then we just proceeded. So all our resources now, we channel them to taking care of the baby, the pregnancy journey, medical cover and all that, yeah. And we knew once the child is born, we'll still proceed, yeah.
Actually, for us planning for the wedding, we didn't take long to like, between the first day of starting to plan and the wedding day. I remember I had traveled out of the country,
Yeah.
so I was in China. And then now when I returned, one day we were just having a conversation with her, and she told me, why don't you do a wedding? Then I was like, yeah, that can be really cool. So that was September 2018. I had just returned. I'd been there for like 2 months. So when I returned, it just came up like an idea. Then of course now we decided to inform like the very close people to us,
Yeah.
that you're planning a wedding. So now of course she informed her people, myself to inform my people, and then we just started the planning. And then we did a DIY wedding, you know, like do it yourself.
Yeah.
We did not involve any wedding planners.
No committee.
We did not form any committee. We did not form any WhatsApp groups for like fundraising or stuff.
Yeah.
No, we just pulled our resources together, and then we had close family members who took up certain aspects of the wedding. For example, one took the cutlery, the catering.
Side, yeah.
Another one took the transport. Another one took bridal party organizations and so on. So these people come together. We used to have like meetings every Saturday.
Yeah.
So we had about 3 or 4 meetings, and everything fell in place. So we started planning in September, and in November we did a wedding.
Yeah.
So we planned within 2 months. Yeah, and we limited our wedding attendance to few people.
Yeah.
So we set it to 100 guests. Yeah, because we also didn't want to involve a lot of people in terms of logistics, because many would of course travel from far. Then we also didn't want to stretch our budget, since we were doing it ourselves. We were doing it based on our resources, so we did not like make it big. So we figured out that maximum 100 people will do a nice wedding.
Yeah.
Then we also did our wedding on a Friday. Yeah, so on a Friday, of course, you also you limit the number of people who would get crushed, you know, or those ones who don't have a plan. You know, people just show up randomly. You limit them by putting it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did our wedding on a Friday, and yes, it was a success. It was actually a very huge success.
Yeah. For me, the highlights of my wedding, I can say it was the vows. Oh my God, it was like, wow, it was so memorable. It was like I was dreaming. First of all, apart from the vows, walking down the aisle, you know that moment you just walk down and everyone, all eyes are on you. Everyone is looking at you. You feel like you're a princess. Like everyone, all eyes are on you. Your parents are there. Your parents-in-laws, they're there. Your friends, your family, everyone is there. And you feel like, oh my God, this is my day. This is really my day. And then the vows exchange and all that, you just feel like, wow, this thing is real. And then also the reception part, yeah, because he really danced, he really enjoyed. And then another thing, during my wedding, I was also pregnant with my second son, 3 months pregnant. So also my second son came in between when we were planning my wedding. And then we were like, you know what, we didn't tell anyone. Yeah. Because we didn't want the date to be postponed again. So we didn't tell anyone. It was just me and him. Even our best couple, they didn't know. It was just me and him. So during the time, I was just praying to God, God, please don't give me the pregnancy moods. I don't want those things on my day. Please just help me to flow with the day. And then, yeah, it was a success. No one knew the gown fitted, because that was really my worry. Would the gown fit within that 3 months? Because I had like bought it 3 months prior to. So I was really hoping on that day Stephanie may add some weight so that it does not fit. Yeah.
So for me, the highlight was two actually. Number one was the vows, because I remember our priest was a very good guy. He's a South Sudanese, but yeah, he's practicing his theology here in the country. So I remember when now we had exchanged, I had put the ring in her finger. The veil was still covered. Yeah, and you know, traditionally you're supposed to unveil first is now when, you know, you put the finger. So now we didn't realize, both of us. Yeah. So now when the priest was telling me, now you may kiss your bride, is when now I discovered, oh,
the veil is still on.
Yeah. But now I just did it quickly, and yeah, it went unnoticed. Yeah. And then now, of course, the reception, because I remember that day I really danced. Yeah, I danced my heart out. And then also that 2 months period that we had planned our wedding, it had a lot of challenges. So when that day finally came, I was overwhelmed with joy. So I danced a lot, and the people who came there, they were really entertained, because we had a band from this, where we come from, this we call this isukuti. It's a traditional drum that is accompanied by some metallic, you know, like. Yeah, so when you combine all that, it gives a very good rhythm. Then we had some performer also. He's quite popular, but he does vernacular music. Yeah, so many people really enjoyed. Guys danced, food was enough, and everybody who left that wedding went back home saying, "Wow, that was really nice." Because the reception, the church service was really proper. The reception was even better. Guys danced. There was good food. The weather was fantastic, and the event, the location was also great. Yeah, and the theme was perfect. You know, the decor was perfect. So it was even above what we expected. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Considering the fact that initially you had booked a church reception ground, but now the last minute they had some issues, so they had to cancel. So I remember we went back to our priest, and then we were like, we don't have a church ground, what do we do? And then a priest offered us a church ground for free.
For free.
Free of charge. It was like, why are you guys looking for a church ground? We have a lot of space, just use this place. Just choose the one you want, just use it, and then.
Yeah, and then the ground that we were given, you know, there was very nice shade. Then the tents were put up. So it was an advantage, because we just did the church service. Then that's outside the church is where the reception was. So there was no movement in between.
For the honeymoon part, we had to postpone. We had to postpone because he had to travel. He had to travel because of work, so he had to postpone. But then once he came back, I remember that time he came back, I was just from work, and then I told him, you know what, come pick me, we're going on a date. So he thought we were going on a date. Kumbe, I had already even packed his thing in the car. He was moving with luggage in his car. He rarely checks the boot. He rarely checks the boot section in the car. So I knew if I put the luggage in the boot, he wouldn't see it. So I packed everything for him. Then he came to work. Sorry, he came to work to pick me. So when he arrived at work, I was like, you know what? Let's go to the petrol station. And then I remember I told the attendants, put for me full tank. And then he was like, where are we going that you're putting full tank? And then I was like, surprise, you're going to Naivasha. And then that's how you had our honeymoon. Yeah,
but on that wedding night we spent at Norfolk Hotel. Yeah, we had like 2 days over there. Then now I traveled, and then I came back. Then, yeah, like she said, she actually organized for a very nice resort in Naivasha. And I was shocked, because myself, it was a random Friday afternoon. In fact, I had already gotten into a weekend mood. So upon reaching Naivasha is when I was just being told, take this turn, this turn, this turn. Then you are there. Yeah.
And the good thing, he didn't resist. He was like, we are going, let's go. And I'm like, you don't even know what I've packed for him. He's like, I will survive, let's go.
Yeah.
And then that's how it was. It was an amazing weekend, yeah. Sure. Memorable one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, some adjustments, especially in terms of maybe character, the way, you know, the way I used to live when I was myself. You know, things like I never used to do the bed. I would just wake up and come back like that. Dishes sometimes, and then I was careless in terms of where I placed my shoes. Yeah, so such things used to irritate her. Yeah, so I had to like get used to it, and then yeah, somehow it was accommodating for her as well too. Maybe there are some maybe small things here and there that were like I love my food spicy. Yeah, I love my food spicy. I tend to buy a lot of masala and curry powders and all that stuff. Yeah, and for her, she wasn't used to that.
Yeah.
So whenever she'd cook me food, I would complain. I would ask her, how comes this food is tasting like there's no this and that? Then she was like, no, I don't. I told her, no, my food, I have to put spice. Yeah, so she also adjusted. So yeah, there are those small things that, you do for each other, so that you can live in harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
Yeah, because for me personally, I'm a perfectionist. When I put my cup here, I expect it to be here. But for him, he's like easygoing type. So maybe he'll come from work, just put his shoes everywhere, and I'm like, seriously, just put your shoes here. So yeah, we had to like adjust, like he had said, we had to adjust. And then for him, he likes when, like for example, if I'm cooking, he likes to be there. Help me, oh, put this, and me, I'm like, so just sit in the sitting room, wait for me to cook, and then we eat together, no? So I just had to adjust and like just accept him the way he is, yeah. So, and then with time, yeah, I even started enjoying the spicy foods, yeah. Nowadays, I can't eat something that has, food that has not been added spices.
There's so much we do together for fun. First of all, we are really good friends, yeah. So whenever I have anything random in my mind, I just hit her up. So most times, whatever we want to do something for fun, we step out. Yeah, we sometimes go to the park. We like trying out restaurants, and sometimes even, like if it's Friday or the weekend, we like going out, yeah, to like really nice nightclubs and stuff like that. So there's a lot that we can do. Yeah, it just and the better part of it is that they're always random.
Yeah.
It's very rare for us to plan something of a long duration. Unless it's maybe a trip, and if it's a trip, we just plan it within a few days.
Yeah.
So we tend to just have random plans, and most of the time we go out. Yeah, we just step out where we can be together and talk, yeah, and do road trips and stuff like that.
Having children, yeah, I can say it has affected. In the beginning, it affected our romance because now adjusting from being just us to having a small child. So of course, the times we used to spend together, it had to be reduced. The random dinner dates, the random dates, So in a way, we had to find a way of how we can spend time just the two of us. Like now, we started introducing movie nights. Fridays, they are for movies. Instead of going out, we just now meet, just the two of us. Now now the kid is asleep and all that, we just now create time for ourselves, watch a movie, just bond, yeah, and all that, yeah. The biggest argument that we have is, I can say in terms of disciplining kids. For me, I'm a disciplinarian in a way. Actually, when you got married, you had decided, you know what, you'll be the disciplined parent, I'll be the good parent. And to me, when the kids came, you became the softer one. And I had to become that man, hands-on. So for me, maybe I'd say no, him, he'll say yes. So the kids will go, Mom, can we do this? I'm like, no. They go to Daddy, Daddy says yes. And then my kid is like looking at me like, Daddy has said yes. So I can say, because I always tell him, let's be a team and all that. We'll agree, yes, our kids are not going out, they're not doing what. And then when the kids just approach him, I don't know what happens, but he just ends up saying yes.
I mean, conflicts, yes, but there are very few occasions. But whenever they do, the best thing to do is we talk about it. For example, if I feel like something is not good on my side, I will tell her, and she will do the same as well. So what we do is, if we have the kids at home, we tend to like go outside, yeah, because it's pretty easy for us to like just step out. We have a number of places around that we can always just pop in, yeah, and then we just go and talk it out. Yeah, like I said from the beginning, the fact that we are friends, even talking is normally very easy. Yeah, even when I know I've offended her, I just, for example, there'll be a time maybe she'll be too upset, so I'll give her some few hours to cool or something. But I will approach it from a dialogue point of view. Yeah, just talk to her and tell her, maybe this or that. and then we'll just resolve conflict. Then being friends, I think, helps a lot because, of course, you can't be somebody who's a friend. You can't be in a conflict with them for long. You look for a way to solve things. Yeah, so that's the approach we do.
Our biggest strength actually is friendship because, like I say, when you're annoyed with each other, you'll be like, I've not talked to him. As much as I'm annoyed with him, there's that maybe gossip that has come and I don't have any other person. So I'll just approach him, you know what, I'm sorry about yesterday, now let me tell you this. And then, continue from there. And then we forgive each other because, you know, that hot story, whom will I tell if it's not him? So, yeah.
I'd say with marriage, nobody really prepares you what's next. Yeah, it's just like it's like parenting. There's no formula. So when I got married to her, of course, life continued being the way it was. It's just that now we were official. But then there are certain things that maybe come in the way that nobody has prepared you for. But now you have to like face them and just deal with them. So I would say that is the one aspect which I can say, you know, if there was a blueprint, if there was something, a roadmap,
or a book,
it would tell you that when this happens, you can approach it like this. When this happens, you can approach it like this. But that one doesn't exist. So I think how you've been relating really makes a big deal when it comes to dealing with such stuff. So there's really no formula for how life pans out. Yeah,
I can say one thing that no one prepared us is the number of friends we'll lose. Once you become married, I'm telling you, I don't know what happens, but just friends, they fly through the window. Like for me, I got married at a not very young age, but I was also still young at 24 years. So you can imagine, I was the first one in my cycle of friends to get married. So trust you me, 98% of my friends, they flew away. You'd call someone won't pick. Or maybe they want to spend time with me and I'm not available because I have to spend time with him, maybe I have to spend time with my baby and all that. So no one really prepares you for the number of friends you'll drop. But at the same time, on the positive side, you'll also still gain genuine friends because along the way, we'd meet maybe his married colleague, he comes with the wife, and then we just bond with the wife, and then, you know, So with marriage, just if anyone is getting into marriage, just be open-minded.
Actually, on the friendship bit, you find, for example, now your interests are no longer the same. You can't be available as you used to be. You're not able to do the things you used to do. So there's that element also of losing friends, but at the same time you also gain. You gain now friends who you are aligned together in terms of maybe where you are in life, what stage you are. So you get also new friends. My love language is I think being there. I don't like being away from her, even when I travel, because I do travel a lot. I always feel some type of way when I'm leaving, that I look forward to coming back home really fast and soon. So I'd say my love language is being physically present and going with her to places. We tend to go to places and we hang out a lot. Then we talk to each other a lot. So you know, being around, I'd take it as, you know, I don't believe in being far from her. I always want to be near her.
For me, it's gifting. Gifting him, they to surprise gifts here and there, they to small chocolates and all that. That's for me the love language.
During our low moments is when we've discovered that we are a team.
It's just the two of us.
Yes, and of course during the rosy moments, everyone wants to, you know, be associated with you. But when the going gets tough, you know, I find myself with her only, and it's something that I've been keen on. And of course now going forward, we now know who are on our side. We know the go-to people, and we know those ones who are just there for a good time. For example, if you are doing a party, we know who to, you know, and also when we are going through some moments, you also know who to talk to or who to reach out to.
So for me, I can say that you're the best. You're the best thing that has ever happened to me and the kids. You're the best dad. You are a very good husband. You're God-fearing. You're just the best, Yanni. Yeah, and I'm lucky to have you, yeah, and I love you, of course.
Yeah. She's somebody that I want to grow old with. I want to spend the rest of my life with her. When our kids grow up and they later on go to find their own ways, I want to retire with her in some island, you know, far away, and where we'll be old but still very young at heart. Yeah, so she's somebody who I see a lot of future with, and I plan on being with her until eternity or whatever. And yes, because she's amazing. She's kind-hearted, and she's a good friend, and she's very generous. So those are virtues that I'd love to see, to be part of, you know, until the end of time or something like that. Cheers.
I'm Livasi Brian. I'm a member of the Silhouette Band. I'm one of the violinists among many who are part of Silhouette. Silhouette consists of DJs, violinists, and generally entertainers.
My name is Derek Obara. My stage name is The Afrophonists. I'm a member of the Silhouette Band, one of the founding members. Your entertainment is our business.
This is my favorite instrument. I've played it for over 10 years now. And I started it 2009. Then I'm self-taught.
Our main focus is to change how people perceive music, how people understand music, and making people smile. Creating your day, creating your moments of life, your weddings, be it birthdays, be it birthday surprises, proposals. Actually, we're the leading in saxophonists and violinists, and actually DJs in the industry right now. What we do, we get to meet various people in the industry. We get to perform for politicians. We get to have gigs at wedding fairs, Valentine's Day, Valentine's. Sometimes we also perform at the presidential functions, national holidays. For example, Mashujaa Day, we once did a concert for Mashujaa Day as a band.
Playing at a wedding or anything feels so privileged because I get to meet many guys, new people, new personalities, more experience, and yeah.
I guess the next point of view that we're eyeing at is to take our music outside Kenya, of which we focus on local music also as we perform the renditions. So our main purpose is to actually export whatever we do here and be able to play amongst big artists, global artists. That's what we eye on. But currently, I can say in Kenya, we've traveled to Mombasa, we've done weddings in Diani, we've done weddings in Kisumu, done weddings in Nanyuki, Mount Kenya Safari Club. We move around many hotels, 5-star hotels, the best restaurants, name them. We are there by there.
A few days ago, I had an engagement that I was supposed to play at. The client was so excited to the point she wept. Like she was so crying, like seriously crying, because the violin made her feel so touched. Like it felt so good. I really felt so good because I could do that to someone with just the instrument. Not me talking, not anything, just the instrument doing its thing. As a violinist, I enjoy teaching and I enjoy playing at events with the help of my fellow colleague, the Afrophonist, and we are both members of the Silhouette band.
You can find us through social media, mainly through Instagram. Our main page is Silhouette Band. But if you need any classes, be it violin, saxophone classes, DJ classes, you can get us individually. The violinist Brian Luvasi. I am the Afrophonist everywhere. Be sure when you book us, we won't fail you, because your entertainment is our business.
I love coming home to relax after a long day of work, and my friends love coming to my house because I have great furniture, comfy, elegant, and never goes out of style.
I love this dining set because the table is unique, classy, the seats are so comfortable, and it accommodates all my friends when you have a meetup.
I love this bed. It's unique, durable, and the mattress is great, and I know it will last us longer.